This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
What's good, guys? My name is the Big Mac Harry McDonald, and you are listening and watching to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with... He is the Big Mac Harry McDonald. How are you, Harry?
That was great. Thank you.
Well,
I'm doing pretty well, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Could you tell us what the Big Mac has coming up?
Yeah, so coming up, I mean, it's actually a bit of a sticky predicament at the moment. I'm currently injured. So I had a title match, a main event, a few weeks ago down in a place called Leigh-on-Sea, which is in Essex in England. I was taking on a great tag team known as the Demon Death Squad, alongside my tag team partner, Ryan Curran, who will be doing podcasts for you guys in the coming days. But unfortunately, I did injure my knee. I had a patella subluxation, which means it's kind of like a half dislocation of my knee. And I'm looking at about 3 months recovery time. Something I am very, very excited about at the moment, though, is this new merch dropping. It's been designed by an Italian fashion designer named as Max Paracci, and he is absolutely brilliant. Not only can you see here, you've got Big Mac on the front, but on the back, we also have a design of myself, and it's inspired by one of my favorite British rap albums, Psychodrama by Dave. So that'll be dropping very, very soon. So make sure you keep an eye out for that one.
All right, and where can we get those, your merchandise?
Yeah, so if you want to get my merchandise, obviously if you're over here in the UK, it will be available very easily to you at shows, or if you wanted me to deliver it to you. Internationally, I mean, this goes for people in my country as well. If you want to contact me on Instagram, Facebook, obviously if you see me in person, I can put in an order for you. I am looking at doing a sort of a limited run with these, probably around about 40 t-shirts. So if this is something that you are interested in, then make sure you hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram is Harry McDonald BM. If you slide into my DMs, I can get you any size you want and get that sorted for you and shipped to you.
All right, and the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox.
Nice one.
So, let's get into it. You work for DKW and RCWA. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Yeah, so those are the two of the main companies I work for right now. Obviously, I do work for other ones outside of that. DKW shows was where I initially started. They run a training school down in Purfleet in Essex, and that's where I really, started to hone my craft, learn the basics of wrestling, and finally start to get onto shows. RCWA, I'm the current Elite One champion for them. I beat a very, very great wrestler known as Paul Robinson for that title, and that's something that I'm very proud of to have achieved that, and I hope to continue to do great work there. I've currently got a bit of an issue in the storyline with someone known as Sue Ospreay. I mean, you may have heard of her son, yes. Will Ospreay. Yeah. Sue is she's caused me a bit of hassle right now, which is something I'm going to have to sort out. And of course, I've got a lot of other companies as well that I'm working for. WrestleForce, they are a great company in the UK, running shows all the time. Prodigy Pro Wrestling, that's a new one coming up. I had a lot of fun wrestling there, and just generally trying to get myself out more in this UK scene and also internationally. I mean, I'd love to come to America and perform for you guys.
Now, you mentioned you're currently injured. What exactly
Yeah.
happened in the what happened that led to that injury?
To be honest, I'd love to be able to put it onto my opponents and to say that it was something that they did, but it's just not the case. Damien and Xander, the Demon Death Squad, are great wrestlers, completely safe as houses. It was just a freak accident. I've got a pretty a bad knee. It's not really an issue. I can still maneuver. I've still been able to do that, but about a year ago, I had a similar injury. And then at Prodigy Pro Wrestling, like I just mentioned, I had a show for them the day before where I think I might have aggravated it. And probably about 30 seconds into the match, I'm trading strikes with Xander, just giving each other some stiff forearms, you know, letting it be known that I'm the Big Mac. And my leg just, it felt almost like a pop. I just collapsed to the floor, crawled over to Ryan Curran, had to make the tag. And unfortunately, I couldn't continue with the match, which was a real shame. It's something that I'm not particularly proud of. But I think ultimately you really just have to put your health first.
Right.
And, you know, that's what I did there. So I'm working hard every single day. I think I'm working potentially even harder than I was working before, because being able to be away from something that you love so much, it really shows you that passion for it. So I am working tirelessly day in and day out, rehabbing my knee. And if I can get back sooner than 3 months, then that would be brilliant. But if I come back at the end of that 3 months, then I'm going to be back better than you've ever seen me before. And that is 100% a fact.
Like when something like that happens, and because you are doing great things in the UK. I mean, everything with Ryan, you know, you are champion, you're getting these big matches, and then this is like a speed bump. It just stops. Where's your headspace? And do you kind of have you kind of take perspective of your career during this time?
I think you have to. It's one of them ones that you don't really want to. It's something that you wouldn't wish on anyone.
Right.
But you have no other choice other than to do that. I'm someone who does suffer from some mental issues, mainly depression and some anxiety. So things like this can affect me quite a lot. In fact, like it's not something I'm proud of, but I actually broke the back of my phone screen a few days after my knee injury, just because I was just so frustrated. Like you said, when you've got all these great things going on and your life is going how you want it to, and then a kind of speedball comes and changes that, it throws everything off course. And I think the easiest thing to do at that point is to just be angry with the world and, you know, try and blame it on other people and just be frustrated. But I find just try and censor yourself, try and, you know, calm yourself down, just think, what is in my control? What can I actually do to work towards my goals? Because before it was clear. So, okay, let's go and train. Let's work out in the week. Let's do my shows. Cool. Now, you're taking the shows off of that. I can't really go and train as much. Okay, so I'm going to have to work triple as hard on my gym work. And that's something that I've focused on now. I'm doing a lot more tape study and watching matches of the greats. I'm just trying to, you know, mentally prepare myself as much as I can for my return. With things like this, you can never see them coming, and I think most people would agree they generally come at the exact moment that you don't want them to. But just day by day, I'm taking it day by day. I'm by no means I'm trying to figure out how to put it. I'm by no means some machine. Everything still affects me. I'm still very, very irritated and frustrated that this has happened now specifically, but dwelling on that doesn't do you any good. Focusing on what you can control is my main thing. And I think for anyone else going through a similar thing in their life, whether it's an injury or just some other speed bump that's affecting their vision and their road to get to their goals, just focus on what you control. That's what I'll say.
Alright. Well, you are the current Elite One champion for RCWA.
Yeah.
A title that does have some history to it. So what did it mean to you to win that championship?
Man, it means so much to me, man. I mean, when I first started wrestling, I didn't know if I'd ever be even able to reach the levels I have now. And RCWA was kind of one of them ones where, I don't know, not that I didn't believe I could do it. I always had that belief in myself, but it did seem somewhat unattainable, especially at first. I mean, when you think about the history of the company, this is a company that was founded by arguably one of, if not the best wrestler in the world, Will Ospreay. He's hosted some of the best British and overseas talent, to ever exist. And to not only be a part of that company, but also to be a main figurehead of it and be able to drive it forward and, bring them more success, that means so much to me.
That moment when you actually won the title, did you take it in at that moment, or did it kind of set in afterwards?
That's a good question. That is a good question. I think a bit of both, really. I mean, definitely, I knew that, this was something that was in the plans for a little while. And like I mentioned before, getting to work with a great wrestler like Paul Robinson, and not to discredit as well, Corey McRae. Corey McRae is brilliant. He's probably the closest thing we have to Conor McGregor in the UK scene right now, and he's fantastic. So to be able to get in the ring with both of them and, put on something that the crowd seemed to really invest in and enjoy, that felt great. So in the moment, I was able to soak that in. But I think it's only when you actually come home and you sit down in your bed and your body is aching and everything's done and the adrenaline's worn off and you just think, wow, wow, I'm here in one of the best UK companies, and not only that, I'm taking it to another level. And that to me is, it's amazing. I don't even know if I've fully comprehended it yet. It's still amazing to me.
And obviously, you mentioned Will Ospreay. I don't believe you've ever competed against Will Ospreay, but it does seem like you are in a rivalry with his mom.
Yes. So I've only had the luxury of meeting Will once. Very nice guy. I was just getting into my gear backstage. He happened to come by us. I had to go up, shake his hand, say thank you for what you done for this business, and just introduce myself. And he was very polite, a very nice guy. It's not someone that I'd say I have an extensive relationship with. Sue, on the other hand, I don't think she respects who the Big Mac is. The Big Mac has come into RCWA, and whether the fans like it or not, I've made an impact immediately. And not only me, but also my boy Ryan Curran as well. Me and him, the Big Steppers, we've come out and we've shown everyone why at 19 years of age and 20 years of age, and actually we can go even a year earlier than that because that's when we started in this company, that we are hungry and we are ready to work. But Sue Ospreay, she doesn't see that. She sees every way that we, quote unquote, cheat. She sees every way that we abuse the fans. She sees all of the bad things. She doesn't see how great the Big Mac is. And that's an issue for me, and that's clearly an issue for her as well. So hopefully, in October at their next show, she said that I've got to defend my championship against one of the previous holders of the Elite One Championship, which is it's got a great lineage. So I'm going to be facing an absolutely incredible wrestler, and that's no issue for me. But she's not doing that because she wants to see a great match. She's doing that because she wants to see the Big Mac's downfall. and that's an issue for me. That's where the issue comes from.
It's interesting because I thought it was only like a one-time, incident between you and Sue, but it seems like this is an ongoing rivalry.
I mean, you can call it what you like, to be honest. I mean, quite frankly, Sue Ospreay has never been the Elite One champion.
No.
Sue Ospreay has never held a championship in wrestling,
No.
and she may claim that, Raising Will is even better than that, but quite frankly, until you have that gold around your waist, you don't know what it means. You don't know what it means. So to discredit me, that's an issue. So if she wants to drop it, fine. If she wants to come out and she wants to acknowledge, you know what, Harry, you know what, Ryan, you guys are great. You deserve that championship. You earned it through hard work, dedication, consistency, and pure grit. If she says that, there is no issue between me and Sue. I love Sue. I love Will. I want to have good vibes. But I am that guy. I am the best wrestler in that entire roster, arguably the best wrestler in the UK. So if you want to run your mouth, call me Harry Hot Dog, call me this, call me anything under the sun, Sue. Do it. Do it. Because I am the one selling the tickets. And that's what it matters at the end of the day.
Alright. Now, can you tell us about your relationship with your tag team partner, Ryan Curran?
Okay, so Ryan Curran, just like me, he started at DKW. I started would have been 2018, 2019. He started a few years after me. I think probably 2021, 2022. I got on with him initially. For me, I just left another tag team at the time with a guy called Charlie Brooks, so I was more focused on singles competition. I'm not sure if you're aware, but a team called the Rebellion. So they've got members such as Jack Torino, Taylor James, Scott Smithson, and a few other people, coming in and out. I've been associated with them sometimes. They were running their own promotion, Jack and Taylor, which was known as Triumph Pro Wrestling. And they wanted some, not necessarily young lions, but a young lions kind of feel. And they pulled me aside and they said, we think you two work well together. We want to put you together and just see what you can do. And I think that's really where our friendship began to bloom at that point. And we realized how similar we are. The goals we want to achieve are very similar. So it's just, well, we're two of the most talented, most hardworking, best looking, most handsome wrestlers in the UK. So why would we not be a team? We big step to the club. We big step to your girl. So why are we not going to big step in that wrestling ring and come take some tag titles? That's my thing. I love Ryan. I think Ryan is way better at his experience than I was at that point. And I think that the way we're going, we're only going to continue to rise and take over the world together.
What's a pet peeve about Ryan that you just don't understand?
Okay, that's an interesting one. With a pet peeve about Ryan that I just don't understand. That's a good one. To be honest, we're so close at this point that it's hard to pick out things. It's way easier to pick out things that I do like. So finding something that is a pet peeve of mine, probably just losing matches. I'm the Elite One champion. He doesn't lose a lot of them, but if I'm on a show and I've put on a great match and proved myself and proved why the big steppers need to be more places, and then he goes out and lose, it's kind of like, Ryan, bro. Come on, man. I know you've got the talent. I know you've got the ability. So what's going on? That's got to be a peeve of mine. And I'm sure he feels the same when I lose. But, we try to bring each other up. That's the main thing.
Now, when getting together with Ryan, you had some issues coming up with a tag team name, no?
Yes. Yeah. It took us a very long while to settle on something. We used a fair few different names on shows just to see how the crowd would react, how it felt to us. One that we eventually settled on was second to none. We thought we are second to none. We are the best tag team. We are the best wrestlers. We are the best young guys in the UK today. So why would we not be second to none? And then upon a bit of further research, we see that across the globe, not just in the UK, there are about 1 million teams called second to none. And in the UK right now, you've got Nathan Cruz and his tag partner's name. I cannot remember it right now. I don't mean to disrespect him. They're both great wrestlers. And for that reason, we thought, well, you know what? Have it. You're already more well established than us. Take that. We don't need a name to, state that we're second to none. We're the big steppers, and we'll prove that we're second to none by stepping in that ring. The big steppers come to me through, rap influence. That was an idea of mine. I always try and bring elements of my interests and passions into wrestling. That's why you'll see me doing a lot of rap-esque gestures, rap-inspired gear. I've come out as Spider-Man once. That was funny. That was Spider-Mac. And for me, Big Steppers, there's been a lot of songs relating to Big Steppers. You got one by Really Rich. You got one by a guy over here. His name's Songer. He's an up-and-coming artist. He's great. That was one that really put it in my head. And of course, you've got Kendrick Lamar, his last album, and this around the Big Steppers. It just felt really apropos, I'm the Big Mac. We're stepping out onto shows and showing why we deserve to be here. So Big Steppers really fit. And I think we're really starting to find our own now.
So, the Kanye West fan club was not a choice you decided on?
No. I mean, don't get me twisted, yeah. I love Kanye West. I love his music. I think he's great. I've got gear inspired by his Graduation album. Ryan's got gear inspired by his My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album. So generally when we tag together, we'll throw them on as kind of like a matching set in a sense. I think for one, that makes us, it takes away our individuality. We are fans of Kanye West, but at the same time, Kanye West is a fan of many people, and his albums aren't called the fan album of this person. So it didn't feel like that, and especially with a lot of the controversy that was going on surrounding his name at the time, there was no chance I was coming out of the show as the Kanye West fan club. That was not going to happen. I like the music, but sometimes the stuff coming out of his mouth, nah, mate. Nah, sometimes genius, sometimes no. And I think marketing ourselves like that was wrong. I put my gear on the shelf for a little bit. I thought I'll go with the Dave gear, the Psycho Travel one. I don't want that controversy. And you know what? He's apologized for some of the things he said, and I think his image has kind of gone back to where it was before, because everyone knows Kanye's a crazy guy. But yeah, that was never something. That was more of a joke. We was never gonna be the Kanye West fan club, unfortunately.
Alright. Can you tell us about that one time you wrestled as Spider-Man?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, the idea originally came from a girl I see on her Instagram. She posted this picture in a Spider-Man outfit. I think it was for like her nephew's birthday party or something. It was something along the lines of that one. And I'm a huge fan of like just superhero media, whether it's comics or TV shows or films. And if you like superheroes, you love Spider-Man, right? So we had a show for DKW in the same venue where I injured myself recently, and the theme for the show was Night at the Wrestling, and they related it to the Oscars. The Oscars were going on at the time, and I just thought, well, look, everyone knows we can all wrestle here, right? That's what you're coming to see. But if we have this thing, let's do something with it. And this is what I said to the promoter, Lucas Province, and what I said to the other promoter, Dan Bellinger, as well, right? I said, let's do something with it. And they like that idea. So for me, what am I interested in? Superheroes, Spider-Man, cool. okay, what can I have that rhymes with Mac? Man. So any superhero, this man, boom, boom, boom. Spider-Man works. So I come on the show. It opens with a battle royal. Boom. I'm eliminated first. That's something that, especially in that venue, is not something you're expecting to see. And by a newcomer as well. So at the time, the crowd was very confused. What's going on? We've seen this guy in main events. We've seen this guy winning championships here. This guy's gone out first from a battle royal of about 20, 25 people. This don't make sense. But it was all part of the plan, baby. It was all part of the plan. Because now later on, when one of the most smart wrestlers in the UK today, Fentos, comes out and he runs his mouth. He says he wants a fight, and we knew that we was having this match before, or at least I did. He comes out, he runs his mouth, and he wants to get the Big Mac out there. He wants me out there. And to me, that match was way more important than the Battle Royal. So this was all head games. Sometimes you need to, think ahead. So the music hits. He thinks, what the hell is this? Out I come, fully dressed as Spider-Man from the PS4 game. Head to toe, I've got this full skin-tight suit. I've got the mask. The kids are going crazy. I get in there. I'm doing these crazy Spider-Man poses, and I win the match with my finisher, the big tasty knee. And that's one of my most fondest memories of recent time, because not only did I get to wrestle in a venue that means a lot to me, and for a company that gave me an opportunity in the first place, I got to face someone who I'd never faced before and is a great wrestler and kind of a veteran of the scene over here. And I get to show my love for superheroes. Like, damn, okay, this is it. And stuff like that, I love it, man. I think if you take wrestling too seriously, then I think you're doing it all wrong. Of course, there's time to be serious, and you've got to be able to see when that time is and when the time is to have fun. But it's just like any other media. If you want to watch a TV show, you want to watch a film, you want to listen to music, the thing that makes it so great is the variety. If you listen to music, you can listen to happy music, sad music, romantic music, hype music, rave music. There's all these different aspects of it. And, coming out dressed as Spider-Man, a lot of wrestlers would look at me and go, what the hell are you doing, bro? What are you doing? But to me, my perspective is that I just like having fun, right? And I think the fans are there to have fun ultimately over anything else. If I can give you a good time, then if they've enjoyed it, to me, I'll listen to other people's advice, especially from the veterans, right? But that's the main thing. And that got great reception. So I'd definitely be looking to do that kind of thing again.
All right. Maybe a different variation of the Spider-Man suit, or a whole different superhero altogether?
I think I'd probably go for a different one. I like variety, like I just said. I think, especially with Man and Mac, you can have a lot of play on words there. I've already got a few in my mind that, could be potential in the future. I think maybe it could be fun to actually get some proper gear made up for it rather than just like a suit. But then I think that's kind of part of the charm as well. But yeah, I definitely want to do it again. I'm probably, if I was to lean one way, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't do Spider-Man again, but I think I'd probably lean more towards a new character and just trying something different.
Well, I was interested in your current ring gear. It has a lot of sayings on it, like good life, stronger, Barry Bonds, everything I am, champion. Can you tell us about that ring gear?
Yep. So that's what I mentioned before. That is the Kanye West inspired gear from his album Graduation. That is an album that means a lot to me. My current thing for ideas is, like I said, I love superheroes, right? And I think one thing that they do great with the movies, especially Marvel, is the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
You look at something, you're watching something, you're enjoying what you're watching, but then at the same time you can look, and if you pay extra close attention, it's like, I know what that is. And I mean, you don't need to pay extra close attention to see every single song on the Graduation album down the side of my leg. But I think it's something where, like, I love wrestling, I love rap, I love all these things, but people don't necessarily know that unless I show it. And if I come out on a show wearing that, then people who also share the same interests as me are like, wow, I love wrestling and I love Kanye, and this dude is showing me exactly that. And I think that kind of thing's cool. The reason the album means so much to me is that at my first ever job, I was a school cleaner, just a local one, and one of my friends, Harvey Randall, he showed me the album for the first time. The first song I remember hearing was Homecoming, featuring Chris Martin, and just thinking, this is a tune. Like, this is really, really hitting for me. This is doing something. And it really resonated with me. There was a lot of songs that, there's a song in there called Champion that talks about, the first lyric being, did you realize you were a champion in their eyes? And that's something that, that one specifically resonates with me. Most of the songs on there do, to be honest, but I think that one at the moment is very apropos, because at times like this, when I'm getting frustrated with my injury and, I'm talking down on myself sometimes, and everyone gets insecure and, about these sort of things. And that song sometimes snaps me out of it. Did you realize that you are a champion in their eyes? To the fans, I am this huge guy, a guy who they're willing to pay money to see and they are entertained by. But to me, I'm just Harry McDonald. So I think, being able to come out there, this is a very long-winded way to answer the question, but to be able to come out with a gear like that and represent something that means a lot to me and, resonates with me, I love that. It makes me feel more at home. It's the same with wearing the Jordans and nice shoes out to the ring. I've got wrestling boots. It's not like I'm not willing to pay the money for them or, use it. I've wrestled in them before. For me, it's another way to show my personality. And that's one of the main things that I want to get across. I want to be able to entertain you through my wrestling, through my speaking, but just other little bits as well. Just like you look at my gear and you think, that's cool. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Okay. Now, could you tell us about your rivalry with Taylor James?
Oh, hell yeah. Taylor James is like, we've had a big rivalry at DKW for a while. We've had some matches in other companies as well, and they've always been just bangers. If a promoter is watching this, book me and Taylor James, right? That's some money right there, okay? But to go a bit more behind the scenes of it, Taylor James is an incredible human being. He is someone who got me, and I want to preface this as well with Jack Torino as well. They got me my first external bookings outside of DKW. They were there training me from my first days in the company. They were advocating for me to get better spots, to face better wrestlers. They were always looking to help me to grow. So when I get the chance to get in the ring with someone like him, who is not only just as hungry as I am, but has been doing it just that little bit longer, and we both get each other, we both are willing to put in a hell of a lot of effort to entertain the fans, we gel really well. Literally today, this guy's getting married soon. I was at his stag do today. We did paintballing. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that rivalry did so much for me. I think some of the promos that I filmed for that rivalry are some of the best that I've ever dropped. I think that despite actually having a genuine love for this guy, I was able to get across the fact that, like, yeah, you've done a lot for me, but I'm here to beat you, And I think that being able to step in the ring with him elevated my career a lot. And to be honest, I think I'd like to think that it done the same for him as well. Because, quite frankly, I mean, it takes two to tango. So if we're getting in there together and we put on a banger, I'd like to think that that's as much me as it is him. But that rivalry for me is definitely at least top 3 rivalries in my career so far. The matches were great. The stories were great. The promos were great. It meant a lot to me sentimentally. That really means a lot to me, that rivalry.
Now you mentioned, your promos in that rivalry. Over the last couple of years, you've had some very interesting promos. Now,
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the schoolyard promos with Ryan?
Yes. Okay. Is it the one? Are you talking about the ones in the basketball court? On the playground?
At the playground. I believe it was the playground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So those were filmed behind the DKW training in Purfleet. So I believe we had a ring session that day. We both come down. We needed to get some stuff filmed. When I get ideas for promos, I like to do all different things. Like I said, with the music analogy and stuff before, I like to do fun ones and serious ones and sad ones and just test myself through a lot of things because I love acting, right? And I think so. With those promos, I like the comedy aspect of it. I think it got across us as being just these little annoying guys that you don't want to like, but part of you is like, they're kind of cool though. And I think at the time, are you aware of a shop called Wakey Wines in the UK?
No.
Okay, so Wakey Wines in the UK kind of sparked my idea for one of these promos. So I'm assuming you're aware of Prime, the drink, KSI, local, right? Uh-huh. So this Wakey Wine shop, when it was very scarcely available over here, they're like a newsagent's, a corner shop, a convenience store, right? They bought a load of these from America, and then they were selling them for extortionate prices that people were still willing to pay because they wanted to try this drink. And they had this little catchphrase. So in my head, this is blown up on TikTok. I thought, I like to do my promos that whether you are a wrestling fan or you're not, it can still potentially interest you. So I thought the concept of taking a kid who's obsessed with Prime, but saying I'm in my prime and them getting confused by that, and then being able to just have some fun with that could have been a cool concept. And I think that went down pretty well. We used a trainee wrestler called Ash in those promos, and that was fun. And we like to shoot. Ryan's actually a videographer himself. He's studying at a university. So he got the equipment out. He brought it all down. He shot it. He got the mics, the lighting, the sounding. He edited it all. We got a lot of B-roll. There's clips of me sliding down a slide and acting on this weird like gym equipment that was in the park for some reason. And just playing around. Those two were just a lot of us trying to find our feet as a team together, how we interact with each other, but ultimately just have a load of fun. And I think we achieved that, and the fans seem to enjoy it.
It was definitely like, oh, what just happened here when a guy was just begging you for Prime? but now that you explained, Prime in UK, it makes perfect sense.
Yes. I mean, look, to some people it still may be confusing. My analogy is I'm talking about football or soccer, and in that kind of concept, I mean, being in your prime isn't just exclusive to soccer or football, but I wanted to use. Everyone knows who Prime is, especially wrestling fans. Since Logan Paul has come over, and he's bringing it out, and he's got giant Prime bottles at WrestleMania and stuff, and all this stuff. People know what that is. And if I can use the analogy of I'm in my prime, but also take the creative liberty of being able to have a laugh at the expense of the kids who are it's almost like an addiction to this prime. Like they really, really care about this. So I told Ash I wanted him to almost come across as if a form of like drug addict, as he comes over and he's scratching his neck and he just wants Prime, and he's this little kid who's kind of just cracking out in a sense, which I thought would just be a funny concept for the video and something that I haven't seen before. And that's kind of where I went with it. I think to some people it might not have made sense. It's Prime and football. What has that got to do with selling wrestling tickets? But to me, it makes sense. It's a concept that I haven't seen before. And I think to some people it might not have made sense. It's Prime and football. What does that got to do with selling wrestling tickets? But to me, it makes sense. It's a concept that I haven't seen before. And I think to some people it might not have made sense. It's Prime and football. What does that got to do with selling wrestling tickets? But like I said before, it's just about entertaining people. If I can keep you watching the video for whatever reason, and you can come away with it thinking it was a bit funny, it was interesting, it was this, it was that, or whatever, then I've done my job. And it's not one of the promos that I look back on and think that's my best promo. That's a really good one, but it's still one that I look back on pretty fondly, just because it was good vibes. It was fun, you know.
Right. Now, before you were the Big Stepper, second to none, the Kanye West fan club, there was the Brotherhood with Charlie Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about that tag team?
Yeah, so the Brotherhood was how I debuted in DKW and just in wrestling in general. Charlie Brooks is someone who was there for me from day one. I think he actually was probably training before me, because he was training at a very young age. When we debuted on our first show, I believe he was 14 or 15 years old. I think he was 14, because I was 16 at the time. He was 2 years younger. So he was debuting at 14 years old, which is insane. Now, he doesn't wrestle anymore. He talks about coming back, but 14 years old, that is ridiculous. And the concept of the Brotherhood was a kind of chav, roadman, fake wannabe gangster team. That's like a crappy white boy crime time, if that makes sense. Except we just think we're really cool and in the streets when we're not, right? So that was the concept of it, and like you can see, I just like having fun, so I thought it was fun. I wanted to get myself on shows however I could do so, and as quickly as I could do so. So what I do, and I still do now, is I'll look at companies and cards and think, what are you missing? And at the time, DKW didn't have many tag teams at all. I mean, to be fair, even now they don't. I think that's something that the UK scene's lacking a lot. And there's still, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of great ones, but I think a lot of companies do struggle sometimes to find great tag teams. So at the time, DKW didn't have any tag teams, so I said, cool, I'll do a tag team then. I like working with other people. I think coming up together is a cool thing. So that's where that come from. And then I got on with Charlie. I thought he'd be the perfect fit to do this fun kind of fake gangster tag team thing. He's willing to take the mick out of himself. He was better at technical wrestling than me. I was better at talking on the mic than him. We kind of complemented each other. And just coming out, like using the gear to represent that. A lot of people had some criticism for that, because coming out and wearing jeans and shoes and stuff, especially, and designer t-shirts, especially when you're debuting, can be seen as potentially, you know, what are you doing? Are you not to put bad taste towards it, but are you a backyarder? Are you not necessarily a trained professional? There's kind of that connotation there, which I do think somewhat went away. Probably a large part went away when I did invest in proper gear. But for me at the time, I feel like it fit the character perfectly. Now, I feel like my gear I've got now is just another way to express it even further. A pair of jeans, only a pair of jeans. A gear with Kanye West's albums, or, you know, this other album, and boom, is something I can express myself through more. And my character has changed somewhat. I like to see myself now as almost like, I carry myself like a celebrity, or how a rapper would, where people are fans of rappers, despite the fact that their entire music is pretty much just them bragging the entire time and saying how great they are. And if you were to meet someone in real life who just brags and says how great they are all the time and how much money they make and how many girls they get, you're going to be like, yo, bro, shut your mouth, right? I don't care, right? But something about the entertainment industry makes us kind of gravitate towards it and want to be like them guys. So that's where that come from. And I think with the Brotherhood, it was the, mate, I don't know, I do think it could have arguably been the perfect thing for me to come in, because Charlie was able to disguise some of my weaknesses and flaws that I hadn't quite, you know, worked through yet. And I was able to do the same thing for him. And we were a great support group for each other. When I come up with the tag name, the Big Steppers, I was in Amsterdam with Charlie. So, you know, we still stay in contact now. We're still good friends. But yeah, sometimes you outgrow it, I think. And I think I'm at a point now where I don't think I'll go back to the Brotherhood. I think that chapter's done in my career, and I'm just ready to continue forward with the Big Steppers.
Now, when you was in the Brotherhood with Charlie, you did team with Andros J. You was on the Idmatic podcast. You was interviewed by Andros. Was there any discussion about you and Charlie going into Idmatic?
There wasn't conversation of us going into Enigmatic as such. There was a lot of conversation of Enigmatic versus Brotherhood across several companies. It never manifested. I've been in matches with Andros. I really like Andros. Actually, he's got some real exciting stuff coming up, coming pretty soon, which I'm sure you guys will see soon. That's not my business to disclose right now. But yeah, Andros is a great person. That was the first podcast me and Charlie ever done. So it was a great experience. I really appreciate him for that. And he's just a nice guy. I don't think our characters or what we wanted to achieve would have worked as one coherent team. He's currently teaming with another great friend of mine, Ted Sabin, as part of Emo Trash Boys.
Yeah.
And I think that suits both of them better than it would have, say, either of them being in the Big Steppers. Not that it wouldn't work or that they're not good enough to make it work, or vice versa, us going and joining them. I just think we're trying to achieve different things. So we wanted to bring each other up, we wanted to support each other, do the podcast and get my name out there and push their thing, and that's still the case. But no, I don't think there was ever, at least to me, maybe he'd say something different, but at least in my vision, I think like we were just two great separate things, you know?
I gotcha. Now, you was teaming with Charlie pre-pandemic. Obviously, the pandemic hit, everything stopped. And then, just when you guys were starting to come back as a tag team, Charlie decided to step away from pro wrestling. So, where was your head at that time? You know, obviously coming back from the pandemic, you just lost your tag team partner. Where was you at that point?
Not a great spot. Not a great spot at all. I think, like I mentioned before, working together, you are able to hide each other's weaknesses better and to further accentuate what you're good at, right? Being on your own, you're forced to, it's all you, right? So you've got to do it all yourself. Coming back from the pandemic was particularly hard for everyone because gyms weren't open. A lot of us fell into a lot of bad habits. That was something that we had to shake coming back. And even when we come back and we run that first show, the gyms weren't open at the time, I don't believe. So a lot of people was out of shape. A lot of people was out of the rhythm. Potentially hadn't taken bumps in 6 months, a year, something like that. So, you know, it was definitely tough coming back. And I think Charlie's head was just in a different place at the time, which fair enough. Everyone's on their different thing. And to me, it was like, well, this is going to be very difficult for me to carry on because now I've just got to, it's going back to the drawing board, you know? It's like with this injury. It's like, hey, well, you can complain, but what you really got to do is just take a step back. What can I control? What can I do? And to be honest, I think that was actually the best thing to ever happen to my career. If he didn't want to leave, I would absolutely have stayed with him. Him leaving, though, it forced me to have to do everything on my own, promos on my own, my gear ideas are on my own, my idea for matches and storylines was on my own. I didn't have another person telling me and contributing to that, which is great and is annoying. Sometimes Ryan will say things and I think like, that's annoying me a bit because I feel really strongly about this, and it's not because he's being a dick. It's just like people have different opinions on stuff, right? When you're a singles wrestler, if I could wrestle myself, I would, bro, because then I could do what I want when I want to do it. My ideas, boom, there you go, right? Collaborate with other people. You have to do these. You have to, be willing to compromise, and a lot of the time, it actually makes it better than what I would have done anyway. But in your head, you always think, nah, this is the best thing. But I definitely think that Charlie leaving, it forced me into that position where, okay, I've got to do this now. So then I go out and start putting on these good singles matches, proving that I can do it on my own. I don't need to rely on a tag team. I've got the stamina to go on my own. I can do this. I can stand on my own, I don't need another person to market me. And I think that's when the likes of Taylor James and Jack Torino and these people and other companies particularly really started to pay attention to me. Maybe it's because I've been in the business for, a little while then. Maybe it's even if I wasn't a tag team, Charlie would have got the same recognition. But I really do think that was the best thing that could have happened to me then. And that's just the thing, you've got to choose to see the silver lining in everything. And I think with Charlie leaving, yeah, it sucks. That's my friend. We were doing some good stuff together. But without him leaving, I don't think I'd be where I am right now. I don't think I'd be the Elite One champion of RCWA. I don't think I'd be working for these promotions I am right now and, potentially looking at doing some international bookings. I don't think I would be in that position because it's a lot easier to get comfortable when you've got people covering for your weaknesses, Now, I haven't got a choice. You got to do them. And that's the best thing. I love growing. I love the fact that I put in that work, and now things that I would rely on him for before, that's my thing now. And I think, almost thank you, Charlie, because you leaving, gave me that opportunity.
All right. Now it's time for Harry McDonald's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I've got to think of a road story that I can actually say. I've got to think of one that I can actually say and that I want going out to the world. Cool. What is a road story that I love? That's a real hard one because I have so many. I really, really have so many. Okay. I mean, this isn't the greatest one, but it's a recent one that comes to mind. At the last RCWA show, where the whole thing with Sue and the title celebration happened, obviously the main event for that show was supposed to be the Rebellion going up against two RCWA originals, right? One being Paul Robinson, and the other one being a great wrestler called Kelly Six, right?
Okay.
Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances that I'm not going to talk on here, it's not my business. Paul, he couldn't do the show, so we're looking at who could we get down to the show. I'm listing off all these just random names of people who I think they deserve an opportunity. The guys I know, not this one, no, and we settled on. Well, I say we settled. It was not my decision at all. The company settled on a great wrestler called Mike Bird. Now, Mike Bird is brilliant, bro. This guy is great. I've done one training session down at his training school, Catch 22. I learned so much there, maybe more than I learned at any other training school, right? It's great. So we've now got to leave, potentially maybe an hour or so before the show, drive about half an hour, 45 minutes, grab Mike. This is me and Taylor, right? Now come back to the show, then do the show, boom. And I think I'm on first, right? Yeah, I was on first, they're on the main. So we go, get in the car, we go to get Mike. Now we get on the motorway, and there is, I don't know what it was a crash or something. But we're now stuck in this car, just sitting here. They're the main event, I'm the opener, We're both the champions. They're the RCWA tag champs, him and Jack. I'm the Elite One champ. We're sitting in this car, and I'm starting to worry. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? You've given me this belt. I need to come down and prove why, that was a good decision and, get myself over, get the crowd over, just good vibes. And we're sitting in this car, a guy like Mike Bird, pretty relaxed. He's been in this business for years. And even Aiden, more relaxed than me. I'm sitting in the back thinking, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. And the end of the story is probably just the least entertaining part. We get there on time and we go out. We have a great show. They put on a really, really good match. I hope that one comes out on YouTube soon. That was really, really good. Like it was something that could have been on probably any wrestling company in the world and wouldn't have been out of place. It was a really great match. But I don't know, I just think the way I reacted to it was pretty funny. And yeah, that one allows me to give you a story without giving you a story that is then going to shoot me in the arse coming forward. So we'll go with that one.
Fair enough. And it was still a good story. Right. Do you have your own custom ring music?
Yes, I do. That's something I'm very passionate about as well. The guys that I got to make it for me are people who I hold very close to my heart. So you got Lil AJ. He's the guy who produced the song. He is the guy on the chorus. And he actually freestyled that in the studio when I went to lay that down and get this recorded. He's great. He's had a lot of success within his community. He's none of the guys who have done my song have blown yet, but I believe absolutely with pure certainty that each and every one of them can and most definitely will blow very soon. He's had AJ in particular. He's had the likes of people who are producing music for Juice WRLD and guys like that shouting him out and saying how great he is. He's had over here. There's a company called BBC, which is the British.
Yeah.
Oh God. God. Basically, it's like the biggest TV and music, and it's an entertainment company over here, right?
Yeah.
And they have a thing called BBC Sounds, and they show up and coming artists on it. He was on that. Great. Then you got Denzel Prince. He's the first verse on the song. He's someone I went to school with. He's probably one of, if not my best mate right now. I get along so well with him. He is so hungry just for knowledge, and not only within music, but everything else. He is a true student of the game. This guy is the same way that us guys look at wrestling is the way he looks at music. He is willing to get up at silly times and write. If you could take him to the studio at any point, that's something he wants to do. And then finally, not last but definitely not least, you got Don Vu Jr. He's another person I went to school with and I got along very well with. I've got great memories of him. We see Drake at one of the UK's biggest arenas over here. And he brought out WizKid. That was great. And he's just a lovely guy, genuine dude, who's just working away like the other two towards their stuff. He comes with a more Afrobeaty kind of sound, if that makes sense. A lot of the time, not to say that he can't do other stuff, as all three of them are very versatile. That's just kind of his lane that he's selected to go into at the moment. And I think getting all of them on the song together was great. Another thing I forgot to mention, Lil AJ, the reason I know him is from wrestling initially. So when I started training, he was actually a champion in DKW, and then he decided to leave that and go and pursue music. So when I wanted a song made, he was the first guy that I shouted, just because he understands wrestling, but he also understands music. So I knew that with him producing this song and rapping on this song, that he would just get the vision and he can show to the other two what I'm trying to produce forward, right?
Right.
Was you going to say something, sorry?
No, I just said right.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, so we put this out on all music platforms. So it's on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube. I wanted to make it as accessible to everyone, basically. We are looking at potentially filming a music video for it at some point as well. That's something that I would be interested in, but it's not something that is, my main focus right now. I am potentially looking at getting another song done with Ryan Curran as well. And it's something that I love being able to do well for myself, but give back to other people as well. I obviously paid them guys to do the song, because if you're going to put in the work for me, I want to give it back to you. I'm not going to ask you to do me a favor just because you're my friends. Yes, I want this song from you, and I'm going to give you something in return from it, And I think I've done that. I think I've got this song thousands of listens at shows, at YouTube, at streaming services. I recently at Prodigy Pro Wrestling had them come out and play me to the ring. Unfortunately, Don Vu couldn't be there, but they both, Denzel and Lil AJ, paid me to the ring, and I got them to do a set for themselves as well, which is a great opportunity for them, to not only tap in with their rap audience, which they're already trying to do, but with a new audience. It's wrestling. People aren't necessarily there for music, but sometimes, the things you aren't there for and you don't expect are the best things. So for me to be able to have a great song that's accessible to everyone, and that no matter what type of music you listen to, you can appreciate, was a strong thing for me. And then once it was done, it's just like, right, how can we all help each other? I want to make this get listened to, so that they then go, well, this guy's great, let me listen to their music, let me go dive deep into their stuff. And that's my whole thing, whether it's these guys doing the music, whether it's my guys doing jewelry and boxing and running their own businesses and all these different things. If I can support you, then I'm absolutely going to. And the way they've supported me through my wrestling has been, really appreciated.
I think that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the Harry McDonald movie soundtrack?
The 3 songs on the set. Okay, so we're putting Big Mac on there, right? Big Mac is my song.
Fair enough.
It's people who mean a lot to me. That's going on there, right? I want to go deep with it, to be honest. It's because I love all different types of music, and I listen to so much that this question is very difficult. It's very, very difficult for me. But I want to go deep with it. If I was to have a movie about my life, I would want the main thing to get across the struggle, because I struggle a lot. And not to say that other people don't, but I definitely find myself struggling a lot of the time, and I want people to see that battling through that struggle is where, true self-appreciation, self-love, all that shit comes from. So a song that I really like right now is Close by J. Cole. It's off his most recent album. I think it's towards the end of the album. It's great. It kind of documents, he's got a great flow and a rhyme scheme on it, but he documents how far he's come, but also how close he is to the things he wants to achieve, which kind of resonates with where I am right now. If we were to film like a film based on where I am right now, I think that'd be very apropos. I could go Champion, like I said before, of Kanye West, but I've already mentioned that one. Maybe we'll go for some like Adele or something, Maybe we'll throw a bit of Adele, or like a kind of something out of the left field, because she's got a lot of music that really, not necessarily just her, but something like that, where it's a song where it hits you in the soul, It's like, you feel that stuff. So whether you come into the film just wanting to see Harry, do the Big Mac stuff and have a laugh and have fun, but ultimately, no, we're getting serious with it and showing some deep stuff. So probably like a sad, emotional song by someone like a real ballad singer like Adele, or maybe we could go Juice WRLD or Tentacion, or like a Trippie Redd song. Maybe La Ray by Trippie Redd. That's my third one, and maybe that can open the film. because that song talks a lot about like heartache and love and that sort of thing, which I think has plagued me a lot in my life. And I think that song really speaks to where my mind was at a certain point in time, and I can always find myself going back to it. So I'm going to say Big Mac, Lorraine by Trippie Redd, and then Close by J. Cole. Those are my three.
Okay. You definitely had me tripped up when you mentioned Adele. That was like a total swerve.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Adele recently over the last few days. I don't know why. She's just so great. She's so great, man. I think she's so she's so authentic. When I listen to it, I don't feel like it's something that was written by someone else. I don't feel like it's someone trying to tell a story that they don't truly believe in. And that's something that with anything with wrestling or any media, you know, film, TV, I just want to get across realism. I love that kind of thing. So if you can make me feel a kind of way, I will keep going back to your music. And she makes me feel a kind of way. So, well, yeah, she's great.
All right. Now that we got the soundtrack down, then we write the script, and then we go to casting. Who plays Harry McDonald? And you can't say it yourself because you're obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay, hard. I think I would go. Oh, it's a real hard one. I want someone who. There's so many options, bro. There's so many options. It's got to be someone, right, who. This is how I perceive myself, right? This may seem very big-headed. This is how I perceive myself. Someone who is, you know, if you look at them, you think, okay, they look good. They're attractive. They are, you know, in good shape because they're clearly working towards something. But also someone with a lot of range, because my emotions really be bouncing all over the place. So I want someone who can literally within 10 seconds flip from being happy as hell to being sad as hell, and for that not to feel weird. I can't think of the actor's name, and it wouldn't be a good role to play me because he's black. But I've been watching a lot of the TV show called Empire right now. And there's a son on that show, right? You got Hakeem, you have, God, I can't remember their names, but one of the sons, right? I'm only a couple of seasons in. He's great at portraying this kind of the mental state of losing control and just feeling just whoa, exploded. So someone who can do that. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio is just like a basic pick, but he's someone who can just flip that switch, you know, and go boom into that. So I probably wouldn't say him because he's so generic, but honestly, you know, off the top of my head, I can't say. But someone like him who's got that great range and will make you feel something. I'm sorry, I didn't really answer the question, but I find this one very hard.
What I heard is, we're going with Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's it. That's exactly what we need to hear.
Hey, I mean, that's no shame. I mean, he's an Academy Award-winning actor. So, yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta get those names in. Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant in your life that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Okay. I think I'd like to put my nan in there. I mean, first thought goes parents, right? But I think I really want to put my nan in there.
Okay.
I think, especially as a young man, she's done a lot for me. She spoke to me a lot, and you know, just not even meaning to, just dropped me a lot of game of life. You know. Why? I love acting, and I can't think of any actors right now. Oh, I find it hard to think of one. Now I've got to think of three. So some beautiful old woman, okay? And if my nan sees this young woman, that's what I mean, right? Beautiful old woman, right? And then it's okay. So my nan's in it, right? I don't know who's playing her. Then I think, screw it. We're putting my ex-girlfriend in there. She done a lot of damage, but for me, especially with wrestling, if I was still with her, I would not be wrestling today. I was already going, I'm not going to go training. I'd rather chill with you, stuff like that. And she did a real number on me. She wasn't a very nice person, but I definitely think that that's a part of the story that a lot of people could relate to. She was blonde, and we'll go Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is way, way better than her, but, let's just make it seem like I've got a Margot Robbie, okay? So we'll go Margot Robbie and my ex. And then, okay. Who is another person to come into my life? So it could be someone through wrestling. I suppose the film would be centered on wrestling. So probably someone to play the likes of either Lucas Provins, who gave me my first booking and entry into the company, or Taylor James or a Jack Torino, someone like that, because they also played a huge role where I am today. Let's
in the movie.
We'll put them all in the movie.
There could be more.
And then I'm trying to think, right? So I'm going to pick wrestlers because, like I said before, I want to give people opportunities. So for Jack Torino, I'm going to go for, oh my God, what is his name? Dark Order, John Silver. That's it. Okay. John Silver is playing Jack Torino. Okay? Right? He's playing Jack Torino. Taylor James is going to be played by John Morrison. Okay? Right? And Lucas Provins is going to be played by... You know what? He's not that black, but we're going to get Denzel Washington. And, Denzel Washington is going to be Lucas Provins for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I can have Denzel Washington in my film. And then that's what we're going to go with. Then, just think, when would you ever think you would see John Silver, John Morrison, and, God, who did I just say?
Denzel Washington, Margot Robbie.
Denzel Washington on the screen at the same time. There we go. No one would have seen that come in. Oppenheimer, Barbie, nah, man. Big Mac. Just straight up, it's just called Big Mac, the movie. And those three are going to be taking so many Oscars, so many Oscars. Just clear.
Just out of curiosity, who would play Ryan?
Who would play Ryan? Okay. Who would play Ryan? We will go for... Okay. So you got someone with a little fresh beard, someone with good energy, vibes. So, because I feel like, I don't know, we've gone for wrestlers. Maybe we'll go outside of wrestlers. I am going to get... bro, these actor ones are hard, These are hard questions to answer. They really are. I don't know why. It's just stumping my brain today. We're going to go for, right? I mean, Jack Harlow, I really like Jack Harlow. I'm a big fan, right? And he just done White Man Can't Jump. So we're going to get him to cut his hair completely differently. He's going to dye his beard. And Jack Harlow is going to be Ryan Curran.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. This is sounding like an awesome movie. And you could pre-order the tickets now.
Hell yeah. Get that. Get at it.
Great. are you a sneakerhead?
Yes, yes. I mean, I haven't bought shoes in a long, long time because I've been more focused on my finances, and just trying to get that in order and put my money towards wrestling and training and that sort of thing, promos. So I think it's probably been about well over a year since I bought a pair of trainers, but I have probably about at least probably 30 pairs of very nice trainers. I mean, right in front of me right now, I've got a bunch. Yeah, I definitely think I've got a few thousand worth in shoes.
Which ones are your favorite?
Hard to say. Sentimental value for me. My first real pair of like high-end proper like shoes I got a pair of Jordans. They were Jordan 12s called the Flu Games, which I think they're like a black and red pair of the 12s. They mean so much to me. I paid way more than I should have for them because I didn't account for the tax coming in from America. So I paid way more than I should have on them when I was about 16 years old. But they have held up so well for me. And the reason they're called the Flu Games is because I can't remember the exact score, the exact dates and everything, but Michael Jordan had a really bad bout of the flu, and he went out and still scored like something crazy, like 60, 80 points with the flu in the championship game, and I think that's insane. So the story behind it, the fact that it was my first kind of shoe, and that I paid so much for them, not needing to, I think those, they really stand out to me. And I bought my brother for Christmas a few years ago the reverse pair. So mine is like a black silhouette with like red accents. I did the opposite. For his first pair of like really nice Jordans as shoes, I got it the other way. So I got him the same 12s, but it was red, and then it's got like black accents as well. So that's another reason why they really resonate with me. I need to get a picture of us looking like some twins and like dripped up in the 12s.
I'm assuming that those were the most expensive ones you have?
Maybe. I mean, especially with shoes, it's hard to say because they go up and down a lot depending on the rarity. Probably, I've got a pair of Gucci loafers as well. Those are quite expensive. But I think they're probably about a similar price only because I paid more than I needed to. If I was to say my most expensive ones, it probably is the Gucci loafers. I mean, they're not a sneaker, but like, it's a very nice shoe. It's got great like leather and like, really nice sole. But yeah, pretty between them two.
Now, is there a set of shoes you have your eye on that you're looking to purchase in the future, or is it just kind of when you just see them at that time?
I've got a lot of them that I really want, but since I've been trying to put my money to other stuff, I try to just not look. If I look,
right,
that I'm gonna want, and then that's gonna drive me to potentially spend. If I just take my eyes away from it, then no. I think my next ones will be to match some gear. I want to get some new gear done fairly soon, so I think I'll probably go with some to match that. I think I can justify treating myself to a new pair of shoes if I say, it's to wrestling. Then I think I'll be able to justify it more to myself. But there's not a particular pair that I think I've got to have those. Although I've always really wanted a pair of the Chicago Jordan 1s. Though those have just always, since I was about 12 years old, been like the shoe. If I could have any shoe, that's what I'd have.
All right. Now, what's McDonald's favorite thing from McDonald's?
McDonald's favorite thing from McDonald's? You know what? Yeah, picking from the food is very hard because it depends on the day. But I tell you one thing that always hits the spot for me. I don't know if you've got it over where you are, but we have these smoothies over where we are. and in the UK they do these like pineapple and mango iced smoothies. Bro, hits the spot every time. So I'm not even gonna go for a food. I'm gonna go for the mango and the pineapple smoothie. Oh my days! In the summer, in the anytime it hits, but especially in the summer, that is like the most refreshing, tasty drink I've had. It is real good. It is real good.
All right. And since you are from the UK, I do have 2 UK exclusive questions. The first one being KFC or Nando's?
Ooh, Nando's. It's hard. I mean, obviously, if you want to get Nando's, you've got to go in, you've got to sit down. It's definitely going to cost you more money. I reckon if I was to go KFC, I could probably do about £10. If I was going to do a Nando's, I'm probably looking at spending about £20 to £25. But it is a lot better quality. And especially for wrestlers, going and doing a show and then going to have a Nando's afterwards always hits the spot, and you don't really feel like you're cheating too much either, because the chicken, it's got like a sauce and stuff on it, but it's grilled chicken, everything's good, you can pick like real nice slides of it. Probably Nando's, and I think it's just less accessible than KFC just because of the money, I think. So I'll probably go with Nando's, I think.
Alright, so we are pro Nando's. Now,
apparently it's not the same in other countries, you know. I've heard in other countries they have Nando's, but it's never the same as the UK. So you got to get yourself a flight, you got to come to the UK, and you got to get yourself a Nando's.
if I ever do, I'll message you. We'll go together.
Hell yeah, let me know, man.
Now, is the greatest person to ever be knighted Sir Patrick Stewart?
It very well could be. I mean, he's very, very well respected in his industry. I think, you know, actors know he is excellent. I think his story is also very fascinating. It's not one that I know in too great detail, but I know that he didn't find success till fairly later in life, which I think is, you know, just testament to his work ethic and, you know, willing to stay focused and tough on what he wants to achieve. So it could be, it very well could be, but there are a lot of, pretty much everyone, to my knowledge, I don't have an extensive knowledge of the knighthoods, but from what I do know, he is. Yeah, we'll go yeah. You know what? We'll go yeah, because I think he's great. We'll go yeah.
All right. Now, onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Yep. Good shit. Good stuff. That's good stuff. I don't particularly. If I go for a pizza, I don't go for Hawaiian. That's not my go-to. But if it's there, I'll definitely eat it. I don't see any issues with it. A lot of people feel very offended or take it very seriously. For me, I'm just, I don't know. I just really like pizza. If you put pineapple on it, I don't know. I think it kind of complements it. What about you? Are you a pineapple guy? Do you like pineapple?
I do not. Mainly because my mom is allergic, so it was just never something that I had in my life.
There you go. And then I feel like if you are going to try it, you're probably not going to try it on pizza either. Probably not like the best starting point. I feel like if you like pineapple, then you'll probably like it on pizza. Or at least like 50% of the time. But that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I've had pineapple, just never pineapple on pizza. So
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but like, you know,
No, I think
it's
it's
not
good.
something that I actively seek out.
Yeah. No, I'm the same.
Alright. What's your spirit Pokemon?
What was that? My spirit demon, did you say?
No, spirit Pokemon.
Oh, spirit Pokemon. I was gonna say it's a little bit lighter than what I had in mind. You know, spirit Pokemon. I don't have an extensive knowledge of Pokemon. My knowledge of Pokemon is probably as deep as playing Pokemon Go when that come out, and playing around with the guys then. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I kind of like Squirtle. I feel like Squirtle is quite cool. I don't think it'd be my spirit animal because I didn't learn to swim until I was about 13 years old. But I think Squirtle's cool. Then you got like Bulbasaur. He's pretty decent. Who's the rock dude? Who's like the kung fu thing?
Geodude?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I believe so.
Geodude's hot. Yeah, I think Geodude's quite cool. Or there's like, it's like a little ghost that floats around. That one's cool. And is it like Gyarados? That's like the big dragon.
Gyarados.
Gyarados, yeah. We'll go with them. I like them. They're cool.
Okay. Now, we love the late, great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
I do not.
T is for terrible.
Can you enlighten?
H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is for jail. Because a Doug can't spell.
I like it. I like that. That's cool.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers trying to keep the memory alive.
There you go. Got to be done, mate. Got to be done.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical rock.
Yes. If a company wants to book that, I will be so excited because I like stupid stuff, and that is like the most stupidest thing I can think of. So to be honest, it would limit what I can do because I'm definitely not dropping no elbow drops or like anything like that on a rock, and that don't feel great. But then again, I could hit like the maddest Cesaro swing of all time on a rock and just keep going, and then whoop, that would be great. I think that would be great.
Well, just for context, there is this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock for over 15 minutes in what was billed as a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasted for 2 weeks.
Damn, bro's really going with the rock. I mean, fair play to him. I mean, do you know what company that was in?
It's a more of a comedy promotion called Backyard Pro out of Canada.
Okay. I see another video the other day. Have you seen the guy who wrestled the tent? Have you seen that?
He wrestled the what?
It's great. A tent.
A tent.
Like when you go camping and you stay in like a. Yeah, he wrestled a tent. I don't think it was the same guy, but that was real funny. I just love stuff like this, stupid stuff. We've got a lot of companies over here where they do silly things where, like, rather than me being the Big Mac, I'll play like another character. So people come to the show knowing who I am, but they'll like see me play, say, kind of like what I did with the Spider-Man thing. But it might be like, I don't know. An example I can think of is I've never been on a company like this. We have a wrestler over here, well, 2 wrestlers called Shar Samuels and a female wrestler called Sapphire Reed. And they come out as 2 characters from The Last of Us. I've never played The Last of Us or like seen the TV show and that. But like things like that, it's just so cool to me, man. I don't know. It's just fun. It's fun. It's good energy. And like if the crowd enjoys it, then and they're willing to come back and pay to see it, then the business is doing well and everyone's having fun. So yes, if a company wants to book me versus a literal rock, I will make you good money doing it. Okay, I promise you that.
I will send you the match against The Rock if you send me the match against the guy with the tent.
Yes, I'll try and find that for you, bro, and I'll send that over.
Please do. It's something I definitely want to watch. we
Yes, I've got you. No worries.
If you're into wrestling like that, there's a couple of interesting promotions in America as well. There's one up, I believe, in New York. It's Kaiju Big Battle, which
Okay.
is basically if you love the Japanese, monster movies, that's basically they do it in a wrestling ring.
Okay, cool.
There's Rad Pro Wrestling, which is basically pro wrestling in 1994, but now, and all the wrestlers are different characters than they was. And out here in California, we have Wrestling Pro Wrestling, which is from Brian Kendricks. So you can only imagine how odd it is.
Yeah. Have you ever seen something called the Great Space Wars?
It sounds familiar.
So I've only seen a few little bits of it, right? I can't say what promotion it's from, right? It's a Japanese concept. It's kind of like a huge, kind of like maybe 5-man, 6-man tag or something, right? With like 5, 6 members on each team. But and they use like real great legends of Japanese wrestling, right? And they have people come out as different characters like this. So the one I saw, they had E.T., they had R2-D2, they had C-3PO, they had Batman, they had these ninjas, they had Superman, and these like ninja dudes, their whole gimmick was that they would like drink water and spit it at people, I think. Like it's just the funniest thing, and I think they went like an hour, and they tear up the ring, and they start taking bumps just on like the beams, and oh, bro, type in the Great Space Wars, you will not be disappointed. Have you ever? It's R2-D2 fighting E.T. in a ring. So it's the greatest thing. It's the greatest. Taylor Jaden showed me that one, and it's great.
All right, some Googling will be done after this interview.
There you go.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years' time. This is the thing I've been trying to think about recently, right? Of setting like a clear goal, because I think I read a lot of self-help books, self-improvement. I'm very much in that community and just trying to just get better each day, 1%, right? And they say how important goal setting is. For me personally, though, I don't know. Like, I love wrestling. I love performing. So if a big company come in for me and I can work towards that, then great. Like, I'll happily go and do that. I'd definitely like to be at the top of the UK scene by then. Probably wrestling for promotions like Progress, Revolution Pro Wrestling, great ones like that. There's some real great up and coming ones that I want to start working for as well. So potentially reaching those. But honestly, just getting better each day. Like just, I think that's what's done me so good so far. Is not trying to look so super far in the future. I love wrestling. I love doing this. So just wake up every day and be consistent and just do it. And I think if I can do it this long, and I've got to this point, and I've got better upon each day, upon each month, each year, then in 5 years' time, all my days, I'm almost scared to pick a goal because I think that like, not even that I might not reach it, probably that like, I don't know, I don't want to limit myself. I want to just get better and better and better and better and better, and not say that like this is where I want to be, because then that might make me feel worse about my life or what I've worked on. My main thing that I care about the most, at least at this second that we're recording this, is just getting better each day. if I can still in 5 years' time be better and better and better each day, then I think that for good reason I would be in these top promotions. But that's not honestly the goal for me. That's not. It's just the act of the improvement. Because before it was like I want to win a championship. I want to do this. I want to get to this company. And then I think when you actually achieve that, yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's great. But then it stops there. Now you've got to pick a new thing. If your goal is just to keep getting better, if your goal is the improvement, then you're living your dream every single day, and you're consistently just improving and getting better. And then I think all of the great things will come with that. So in 5 years' time, I see myself still being as consistent as I am today. I see myself cutting out bad habits and implementing even better ones. I see myself being more well-known than I am right now and more recognized. And I see myself facing the best talent in the world. That's what I see.
Alright. And what's a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about?
That is hard to say. I mean, there's a lot, really. There's a lot. I can't really pinpoint my finger on one. I think the Taylor James feud is great. I think I've done some real cool work at WrestleForce recently, this year. So if you go to WrestleForce TV, there'll be a lot of matches on there that are some real good highlights of me. On DKW YouTube, you can catch a match of me and Ryan, and I'm sure there's probably the same with RCWA as well. And I think me and Ryan really gel well together, so something with us together would be cool. And then if you wanted to delve further back, then for me and Charlie Brooks, I think if there's footage out there, we had this real fun match with Santa Claus in a 6-man tag versus Lucas Jackson rather, Chris Hunter and Maverick Mayhew. That one was fun on the Christmas show. And then from the era of where I've just come out of being in the Brotherhood and I'm on my own, I had a few fun matches with Sam Dufresne. We've had a few matches at other companies as well that I've really enjoyed. So those ones that kind of stand out to me.
And we can find this on YouTube.
And of course, yes, most of them will be on YouTube. You can find on the RCWA YouTube channel, you can see me winning the Elite One Championship. If you watch Paul Robinson and Corey McRae, it doesn't have my name in the title as it wasn't announced for the match, but if you proceed to watch that, then you'll see me there. That's another fun one. Just anything with me, man. I'm just the best. I'm the greatest. So just anything.
Basically, is type in your name and just binge all the matches.
There you go. And whilst you're at it, I don't know, find some way to pay me like thousands of pounds at the same time to show your appreciation for what I've just done for you. And then, that trust me, if there's one thing that you guys watching this need to do in the next 5 years, is just pay me thousands and thousands of pounds, right? Because, I've done so much for you, giving you all this content of, being able to see me. So just pay me so much money. Just do it. You have to. It's not a joke. It's not a choice. You have to, innit? You have to. If you want to go millions, we can go there. But just go to YouTube, watch every single thing that has to do with me, and then go and send me your entire life savings. And I think that's brilliant.
And I'll even make it easier for our listeners. I'll throw a match or two into the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link and you could see the match immediately.
Great, thank you for that. That's great. I really appreciate that.
But of course, after the interview, and since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I am ready. So this is the speed. You're going to ask me 8 questions, and I've got to just answer real quick, right?
Yes. I mean, you
Cool,
can answer
cool.
how quickly or slow as you want.
Okay. I'm going to try, because I've taken my time with the other ones. I'm going to just try and just blast through. I'm going to just try to get these done.
All right.
Ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Greatest wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels.
Worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler of all time. I'm going to have to go for... Oh, this one's so harsh. Who do I really not like watching wrestle? I don't know. Someone like... I don't know. Eric Rowan. He's not really like really bad at all, but I've just never thought I want to watch an Eric Rowan match. Sorry, my guy.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
My opponent is Seth Rollins.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, that's so hard. It's so hard. Burning My Light. Burning My Light. That's what I'm going to come out to. Randy Orton.
Finish the sentence. K-Babe is...
Non-existent.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. What was that, sorry?
I said we would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Ah, yes, there you go.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Vegetable.
It is a fruit.
Oh, okay.
Yes, tomato logic. It has seeds.
Ah, yes, yes.
But you are part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more.
That's that. That's exactly what I wanted, mate.
New Japan wrestler Tai Chi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Depending on your character, if your character, male or female, is directed towards, showing off your body and being very vain, then I feel like the arse cheek ratio can be increased. I think, quite frankly, if that's not your character, then just keep the arse cheeks in the trunks. Like, they don't need to be shown. No one's trying to see that.
Fair enough. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Unfortunately, I have not. But after this, I'm tempted to go to the supermarket and find someone to talk about Darby Allin with.
If you do, please record it and send it to me.
I will do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
No, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. And I mean, if you guys have actually stayed and listened to me waffle for this long, then I appreciate you too. You guys are absolutely the reason why I can continue to do this. Something that has been a passion of mine since I was literally in nappies. So, I appreciate all of your time, all of the time that these guys spend watching this, and just, hopefully I can continue to entertain everyone in the future.
And once again, where can we find all things Harry McDonald on social media?
Yeah, so if you go on YouTube and you type in Harry McDonald Big Mac, that'll come up with pretty much a list of all my matches. I haven't compiled a playlist yet, but I've just found that when I type that in, everything comes up. If you want to hit me on Instagram, that is Harry McDonald BM. On Facebook, you can find me. I have a wrestling page under my name, Harry McDonald. And that's probably the majority of where you're going to find me. You can find me under the same as my Instagram on Threads now. I am on Twitter. I don't use it actively, but I am trying to get on that more. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember the name. But yeah, that's if you want to contact me, you want to see what I'm doing, that's where you can find me.
Alright, and you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. You have no excuse. DM him and buy a damn short.
Hell yeah, you see it right here, baby. I'm ready. These are gonna go quick as well. So I know we've been joking around, but on a genuine one, this is designed by a great Italian designer. So if something that you're interested in is high-end clothing, and you know, getting your fits together for this summer and this winter coming up, then this is a piece that you're definitely not going to want to miss.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next week for 2 new incredible interviews. One with Ryan Curran. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram, for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, Harry, when I say Wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Of course, okay.
For always special guest Harry McDonald, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment. Hell yeah.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.